Most realtors start fearing Facebook ads after they've tried them themselves or started working with some random lead gen company. They end up losing a lot of money and getting discouraged. This is exactly what happened to Chris before he started working with us, and this is Chris after.
What is going on? This is Chris Roberts, realtor in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to Mason and the team at Amass Estate Media. I signed up with them about a month ago or so, and it has been much more than promised, especially when compared to other lead gen companies out there that just don't provide anything. You sign up, give them your money, there's nothing to show for it. Mason's very communicative, as is the rest of the team there. And that, as a real estate agent, is super duper important. And the leads coming in are great. Lots of them come in, they end up getting sent over to the ISA to be able to vet for me. And then we get some live transfers coming. I've had maybe 10 or so in the first 3 or 4 weeks. So just want to say a quick thank you to Mason. You guys are awesome. And I look forward to getting some more transfers and getting more deals done.
So just like we implemented for Chris, I'm going to run you over the exact lead generation strategy we're currently using for all of our partnering real estate agents across the US, so you can stop losing money and having to rely on Zillow or crappy lead gen company leads. Because let's be honest, everyone knows at this point that these companies profit off sending multiple agents crappy leads and just hoping that one of those agents out there closes it. So let's run over how you can actually just set up your own exclusive lead generation source that doesn't just generate leads, but actual closings. Okay, so in this video, I am going to run you guys over the exact lead generation strategy we are currently using for all of our partnering real estate agents across the country to help them implement their own systems and start generating their own leads. There's this huge thing out there with agents that are reliant on, sphere of influence, repeat referrals. That's, the good stuff that's just going to come with you being in business. You don't want to rely on it, but that's all you, right? That's good, free business, go ahead and take it. But for the portion of you guys that are reliant on getting new leads in the door via a lead gen company, brokerage lead, team lead, Zillow, Realtor.com, HouseJet, Evolved Agents, all those companies out there, you want to start to bring that in-house. What it's going to do is it's going to be a lot cheaper. You're cutting out the middleman. You get full control over the type of leads you're going to generate plus the volume, and it just gives you a lot more control over your strategy. And the best thing, it's predictable. I can't tell you the amount of times I've hopped on calls with agents and I'm like, well, if your Realtor.com leads are, working, why can't you just turn them up? And it's, oh, I'm not on their, best plan or whatnot. Like, I can't just turn it up and down because you don't have like that full total control, right? And so what this whole channel is focused on is helping agents implement their own systems so that you guys can transition over into that business owner role. A lot of agents out there are self-employed, right? If they're not working transactions aren't going to close. And so what we really want to help you guys do is really step into that business ownership role, because if you just continue relying on those sources, one bad year hits and you're like screwed, right? Market goes down, referrals aren't referraling, repeats aren't repeating because of the market or whatnot. You have to have that consistent flow of business that is still transacting in your market, right? And let's say, Realtor isn't sending you the leads you want, Zillow's not sending you the volume you want, or they're not the type of leads you want. They have agents, they're already speaking with people, they're not actually interested, they're tire kickers, the whole 9 yards, right? And so the solution to that is just implement your own lead generation strategy. And this is actually very, very simple. Now, if you want to get advanced, you can get advanced, which you're going to want to do later down the road. But just to start, let's run over how you, as a real estate agent in 2025, moving into 2026, can start generating your own exclusive qualified leads today, okay? So here's a full breakdown diagram of exactly how once you get these leads, you can turn them into closings, which I'm going to run you guys over. But first, most importantly, is how do we actually get the leads in the door, right? That's step one, because if your lead generation is inconsistent, your revenue is going to be inconsistent. That's what you see with referrals, repeat, SOI. Best type of business you can get, but it's inconsistent. You never know when it's going to come around again and stuff like that. And so you don't want to rely on it. Don't have all your eggs in one basket, right? So our lead generation strategy, we use Meta. I know there's tons of agents out there that have tried it themselves or they've been burned in the past. You kind of have to get over that, because the reality of it is it works, right? It's not that your ads didn't work, or it's not that meta ads doesn't work. It's that your ads, one, weren't working, which typically isn't the case, or just your conversion mechanism on the back end to actually get these people to the closing table wasn't airtight enough. There's just too many leaks in the bucket, because we're currently doing this for tons of agents across the nation. So we know it works. It's not a matter of meta ads. It's just you and the systems that you had in place at that point in time, right? So let's build this stuff up, and let me show you exactly what's working for all of our partnering agents right now. So one of the biggest things I see a lot of other lead gen companies they don't do is they don't test a bunch of different creatives. So you'll go into, like, if you worked with a lead gen company or you did meta ads yourself, you probably were testing maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 ads at a time. And what we do for all of our partners is we go in and we test pretty much a bare minimum, depending on their lead generation budget and the goals that they're trying to hit, a minimum of about 16 ads a week. Like a week, because you have to find those winners and those ads that stand out in the market. Once you do a lot of testing, you'll start getting those ads that are popping up, and they're like, they're 4 times cheaper than all the other ads. That's the ones we want to focus on, because on social media, a lot of people think that the price, or the price of the lead is the quality of the lead. That is just not true, because all of these leads went through the exact same process to become a lead, and we have some that are $4, we have some that are $1.33. They all went through the exact same process. The only difference was the targeting and the ad that they saw on the front end. It's the exact same quality of lead. It's no different, and like, they didn't have to answer any different questions or go through any different process. They're the same. And so the idea of like, oh, let's shoot for $50 leads, that's going to be if you use different platforms, like let's say Google, for example, but on the same platform, it's not going to make a difference, okay? And so you want to shoot for as much volume as humanly possible. Now, you don't want to make those calls yourself. You want to hire an assistant if you don't already have one, which if you're a real estate agent, realistically doing over a transaction and a half a month, you should have a virtual assistant that calls all the bulk of your leads for you. Once you get to that point, it's not worth your time to be making those calls. You should be having that outsourced. And so that's like kind of step one, is just make sure, like, when you start bringing in a ton of cold leads that don't know, like, and trust you, make sure you have a caller that can vet through them and find the ones worth your time. That's also a huge thing that a lot of people, when they went and did ads themselves, or they had a lead gen company sending them leads, they're trying to do all the calls themselves. You're looking at 10% pickup rates, 1 to 4% conversion rates. You have to filter out so much fluff. You're never going to find those people when you also have a full-time job of actually being an agent and servicing your clients, right? And so here's an example of what these ads actually look like on the front end. Super, super simple AI-generated houses, so you can test unlimited amounts of stuff. And also the cool part is it gets you a lot of brand awareness, right? So your picture, your name, your company name, and then we can see here 11,800 impressions in just 23 days with a very, very limited budget. 147 leads at only $2.41, right? So you can do the math there. A lot of brand exposure. You're getting leads that aren't even going through the form, but they're commenting, they're engaging, they're DMing you. When you do this right, you get a ton of opportunities in the funnel, right? And so to actually dive deeper into this, and then I'll show you how you can convert these, because step number 1 is honestly easy, generate a lot of opportunity. Where agents really fall off is when it comes to actually converting these people, right? I have 150 leads coming in a month. How do I convert them? How do I find the closings in there? That's the hard part. But first, I want to run you guys over a bit more in depth of our actual advertising strategy. So if we come over onto Facebook here, we have this partner that we just launched on today, actually. Looks like today. So you're going to be able to see a brand new fresh campaign that's not even spent, maybe $4 so far. Let's actually see the amount. Just over $4, and I'm going to show you how we're already getting them leads. We're already finding, the winners in their market with only $4. Every agent has $4 out there to go. Now, honestly, I want to set good expectations. Like, you're going to want to do at least bare minimum $15, $20, $25 a day consistently for 3 months if you want to do meta ads. And if you can't fork that up, then you gotta find a way to start reinvesting in your business. You can't run a business and just expect to consistently grow off free lead sources. Free lead sources are when you first get in the business and you have no money. Once you get those first couple closings, you need to be reinvesting back into your business, right? And so basically, to dive in and actually show you our advertising strategy, we do 1 campaign, 2 ad sets, narrow and broad. So what we're doing here is we're just telling in the narrow ad set. This is going to be a little bit more of an advanced video. There's tons of beginner Facebook videos out there. Ad set is basically where you do the targeting. Narrow is where we're going to target interest like Zillow, Realtor.com, pre-qualification, stuff like that. Broad is where we're just going to let Facebook do its thing. We're not going to tell it anything. We're just going to let Facebook do its thing. Now, once you go to the ads, we actually duplicate the ads under each ad set. So if I go to narrow, we'll see that we have 6 ads under here, all the same, 2 downsizing, 2 new construction, 2 home starting ad offers. And if we go to broad, it's going to be the exact same thing. Because if we have one ad doing better than the other, how are we going to know if it's the ad or the targeting mechanism, right? So we duplicate underneath the targeting. So for the first week, we're usually seeing what targeting works better. Then second week, we're seeing, okay, now let's run all our ads under that one targeting umbrella. What ad's performing better? So you want to test as many variables as possible to really find those winners. So if we go to ads for this partner's also on a very cheap $6 a day budget. Okay, this is normally, I would not recommend that. Okay, but this guy just wanted to get his feet wet, test the waters, see what we can do. Do not expect to be able to get great results with $6 a day if you're just starting and you've never really done this before. We know how to use the budget. We understand how to get people's dollar further than they do most of the time, 95% of the time. And so we're able to make $6 a day budget work, but we don't recommend this to our partnering agents that come on board. We really recommend bare minimum $15, $20 a day, and it's also going to be based on your goals. This guy only wants an additional half a transaction a month, so it's like, okay, that's feasible, right? But if you're looking to get 2 transactions a month, a transaction a month with that, it's not going to work. So I just want to set good expectations there. But then what you'll see is all of these ads they'll start getting, and again, they literally just turned on today. All these ads will start getting these numbers popping up on them. The rate that people are clicking through them, the rate that people are interested, the rate that people are opting in, filling out the form, the whole 9 yards, right? And so we can actually see we already have ads here that are getting results. We have a 90-cent lead here. We have a $1.37 lead here. Like, think about it. If you are getting dollar leads, even if you spend $600 a month, you get 600 leads. It's impossible for you not to have a deal in there. It's impossible for $600 too, right? But when you pay a lead gen company, you have to pay ad spend plus their $1,500 a month retainer. Now that turns into a $2,100 deal when it could have just been your $600 deal, right? Now, obviously, if you want us to do this for you, it would be a little bit hypocritical if I'm like, oh, come work with us. We do everything on a performance basis. Okay, so we do not get paid until you are getting results. That's the main thing. And so if you do see all this and you're like, hey, I would rather them just do this for me, there'll be a link down in the description to obviously check that out. So feel free, book a call with me or someone from my team, and we'll see if we can potentially help you out and if it makes sense, because we do all of our stuff on a performance basis, so it has to make sense. And we'll come in and do all this for you. But basically, test a bunch of different ads on there, and then you're going to start getting results, which are like which ads are performing better. So clearly so far, and again, very limited amount of data. We're not going to actually use this as like a realistic, but hypothetically, this ad is getting cheaper leads than this one. So once we get a lot more data in the door, when we have ads that are getting higher leads, we turn them off. And then what Facebook is going to do is it's going to allocate the budget from those bad ads back to the good ads. And so you really start to double down. When you have this much testing going on, it's very easy to double down. Instead of having to launch a new campaign the next day and then a new campaign, you just launch a ton of different ads, take the time to create a bunch of different ads to test, and you're going to start getting all these numbers down here, which is really, really cool, because then you'll be able to see, then you start getting into the game of testing offers. Okay, is my market more seller or buyer focused? You run a super simple seller offer versus buyer offer test. You'll be able to see the inquiries you're getting. Then you can go into, okay, what specific type of buyer offers are doing better? Is it home value, or is it just a normal buyer's guide? Is it a buyer's guide with a specific headline? Steps to know before buying a home, or steps to know before selling and buying a home? Is it going to be home starting at a certain price point, downsizing, new construction, VA loan? Like, the opportunities are endless out there, right? First time home buyers, like, then you'll get to see, when you test all those, which offer's doing better in my market. Oh, there's a lot of downsizers. Okay, downsizing ads are doing the best. I can capitalize on that, right? And so a lot of people go out there, they'll just run an organic homes list. Well, why don't you run an organic homes list for every single type of person that could be looking for homes? Because then you're going to get a more specific person in your funnel that actually has a need, that actually has something that they want to do, right? Then you start categorizing these people, like, basically subconsciously by they came through the first time home buyers, they came through the VA, they came through the downsizing. So you're going to start seeing, my downsizers convert at a 10% higher rate than my VA does. Okay, well, do I make more money? Yeah, okay, clearly that's the strategy, right? So data. That's what I see so many agents lack in today's, like, just market, I guess, or just like how agents are functioning, is we'd go to agents and they don't know how many leads are getting in on a monthly basis, how many new inquiries. They don't know how much they're spending per new lead. They don't know how much they're spending per phone call conversation or consultation. What's your closing rate on these? Because there's no predictable systems in place most of the time. It's just referral, SOI, repeat. Oh, I get some leads from my brokerage, or I get some leads from Zillow. That's fine if you just want to kind of up and down, and just let the market push you around, let Zillow push you around, let your brokerage push you around. If that's the life and the business you want to run, that's fine. But if you want something that continuously grows up, you need data so you can look at where are we falling, where do I need to put my energy, and how can we grow, right? So that's how we actually do our advertising strategy to get the leads in the door. If you want this to work, though, you can't just generate leads and then be like, okay, I'm going to call them all up as soon as they come in, because 10% pickup rates, right? So if we have 147 leads, that's 1,400 phone calls statistically to get in touch with everybody, leaning more towards 1,500. You're a full-time agent. You have meetings. You can't do that, right? And so what we highly recommend is getting a ISA or a virtual assistant who can call all those leads for you on your behalf multiple times per day and just say, hey, name, hey, agent, these are the ones worth your time. Out of my conversations today, these are the ones that actually have a price point, a time frame, a motivation, a location that they're looking in. They're not working with any other agents. They have a good credit score, the whole 9 yards. These are the ones that you should focus on. And then what you do is you knock that 147 down to 23 for Jared here. And then what you do is you can have your ISA or your virtual assistant give you notes like this, record all the call conversations to make sure you're doing trainings with them, throw them a script and say, only pass me the ones that are worth my time. Then you end up like Jared here, getting a deal under contract in less than, 2 weeks. And then you're like, oh, maybe that's luck, getting another appointment booked. And then I asked the team to actually update this demo deck because you got another appointment booked. I think even another one. And it's not luck. It's just having systems in place where you can track data, consistently improve, and make sure that you as the agent, the founder of the business, are spending your time on those people that are ready to rock and roll in the next 30, 45, 60 days. And then all your long-term nurture, follow-up, that should be all automated. Whether it be AI, whether it be systems, whether it be people, that should be automated. You should only be focusing on the people that are ready to rock and roll, making sure those deals don't fall through. That's your highest leverage ROI generating activity, okay? And this is the exact system that's been able to help all these agents across the nation. I mean, you can go on our website, you can see all of that. And then obviously just having a really dialed back-end CRM to make sure, nothing slipping through the cracks. But you can really just start with step 1 and step 2. Step 1 and step 2, get started. You can worry about a lot of that other, kind of regrouping on the back end once you're actually getting consistent phone calls every month. And then turning those into consistent closings and making sure you have a script on those phone calls. We highly recommend that if you get an ISA or a virtual assistant, you have them live transfer the calls over to you. So it's 100% connection conversation rate. You know you're going to have a conversation. Then you start kind of playing with those phone calls. Okay, I say this, I get an appointment. I say this, I don't. Then it's all just having data. It's all just having real systems in place to continuously look and be like, what can I do better? What can I not do as good? Because if you can't kind of have that data and look at, oh, we got less calls this month, why is that? And if you can't control that variable, it's easy for you to look back and be like, okay, I got 3 SOI leads, and then I got 5, and then I got 6. But how is that actually controllable, right? It's a much harder variable to control opposed to just test new ads, get more leads in the door. Oh, ISA is not doing good. Okay, we need to help them. We need to role play with them. ISA numbers are down. Oh, ads are up. ISA is crushing it. I need to work on my sales skills. I need to work on myself as an agent. When you're tracking all that stuff and you have a real system in place, you know where to put your time and energy. So it's a bit of a longer video than my normal video, but I just really wanted to run over this with you guys. This is just what we're seeing working for all of our partnering agents. If you want us to do this for you, or you want to have a call and see if we might be able to possibly help you out, there will be a link down in the description or somewhere on the channel where you can book a call with me or someone from my team. If not, though, that's completely fine. If you don't want to book a call, that's fine. Take these free videos and start implementing your own systems, because the last thing we hate seeing is agents stuck with Zillow, brokerage leads, SOI, repeat referrals, when we know how easy it is. We've done it. We've built these systems out for agents, and you just implement your own systems. You'll have so much more control. You won't be a statistic. You'll actually be one of those top producers, and this is just what we're seeing working, and then that's really all we can say is what we're seeing working right now in this market. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. Hope you guys are enjoying the free videos. I'll see you again next week.